Hey y'all, it's Dr. Charlie. Today I want to talk to you about cultivating intentional ritual. So ritual is simply doing something repeatedly, doing something over and over in the same way, at the same time, both. Hey cousin. Doing something both at the same time in the same way. It can be one or the other of those. We do rituals every day. You probably brush your teeth when you get up and maybe take your shower, do your bath, whatever you do. You probably have a morning routine and an evening routine. I know I certainly do. Maybe you don't. We also watch TV ritually, or we might do performances ritually. I encourage you to take that a little bit deeper. So I have a personal altar in my house. When we think of personal altars in our houses, sometimes we might think of something like voodoo, which gets a very bad rap. It's simply a religion or a spiritual tradition that people can choose just the same as they would choose, say, Christianity or Islam or Judaism. So cultivating ritual really, for me, it grounds me. I talk a lot about grounding and centering, but I move a lot. So in houses that I have not had created an altar, created a sacred space that's just for me, I don't feel grounded. I never quite get the hang of living in that particular place. So I would encourage you to do that. I spent 2 years in sacred circle ritual with a group of amazing women, but that was my master's program, was to really learn about and cultivate ritual. There's a lot of other things going on with it, but cultivating ritual for me in community at that point, community with women very specifically, it was very important, a very kind of key point of my personal development, I would say. So an altar is a way you can do a lot of things with an altar. It might be like a prayer place for you or a meditation place for you. It might be a connection for me, it's a connection to my ancestors, to the ancestral realm more generally. You can do a lot of that. That may or may not be your belief system, and you still may be a shrine to maybe people who've passed on as well. For that kind of ritual, for that kind of altar, you need, at the very least, water and a candle, and if you have a white cloth of some sort. That's a very simple altar. There's much more elaborate altars that you can do. For altar building and rituals of that nature, I have 2 recommendations for books. The first is Jambalaya by Louise Satish. I'll put links in for these. Jambalaya by Louise Satish and Tapping the Power Within by Iyanla Vanzant. Both of these I actually just finished Tapping the Power Within recently in the past couple of weeks, and I had never read it. Hey Olu, glad you joined me. So creating this ritual, you can do anything ritualistically. So set your intention and then be very specific about the elements you include. So we do a lot of rituals kind of not thinkingly. That's so a word. Morning routine, evening routine. We also may go to work the same way every day, or we may get in and do kind of a very specific set of things once we get to work, or once we get home from work. That may include driving. It may include, public transportation of some sort. It may include walking. We might take a 30-minute walk every day at lunch. No matter what it is, rituals are very much a part of our lives. I would encourage you to create a ritual that's just for you, that you do, again, in the same way, at the same time. The same time, it doesn't have to be every day. It could be every quarter, every 3 months, once a year. I like to take a look at my budget at the end of my year, at the end of the calendar year, or my birthday's also near that. Hey, Lynette, glad you can join us. So really creating things that are specifically for you. There's a lot of talk about self-care, and there's a lot of talk about what I call fluffy self-care. That's a whole other video. But creating a ritual that is intentional, that is on purpose, that makes you're also cultivating a feeling with that makes you feel however it is that you're seeking to feel. For me, grounded and centered are important pieces for me to feel in rituals that I create. I also did rituals with my dissertation though. I would set a timer. Sometimes you can light a candle. It might be a ritual bath. There's a lot of ways to do ritual, and I encourage you to cultivate one or some that are really just for you and serve a specific purpose. They also may have time limits. You may do something for 3 months and then don't feel like you need to do it anymore. So I could talk for a long time about cultivating rituals, so I'll leave that here. Thanks for joining me, and I'll connect with you again. I'll put the links for the books in the resources in the comment section. All right, take great care. I'll talk to you again. This is Dr. Charli signing out. Bye now.